What do you do when someone says to you, you just need to get over it and move on? Well, let's walk together and I'll show you some ways that you can not only respond to this, but take care of yourself at the same time. Hey friend, welcome back to Grief Questions Answered. I'm Eric, and it's my goal with these videos to share everything I've learned about how to survive, find support in the loneliness of grief, and how to intentionally get back up and live beyond the loss of a loved one. If this grief tip that you're watching today doesn't help you, I'm confident it can and will help you at some point in the future, so be sure to save this video to watch later on. And if you haven't done so already, click that subscribe button down below, as this is one of the best ways to get notified of new videos just like this and to show support for the channel. Let's go ahead and get into today's question. Now, truth be told, it was more of a statement that I read in our Let's Walk Together Facebook support group, where Teri asked in the middle of her post, "Will I ever get over it? I'm also tired of everyone saying that I need to get over it and move on. Why are you crying now? Please, some helpful advice." Teri, I appreciate you saying this. There's nothing more infuriating when we're grieving than when someone says something so insensitive about what we're trying to navigate. So let's talk about how you help yourself here. Now remember, this is a put your oxygen mask on before you help someone else's moment, okay? But the main thing is to challenge this guilt and judgment. Often people feel guilty for grieving in general, especially if they perceive that others expect them to move on quickly. And it's absolutely okay for you to remind yourself that your grief is valid and that everyone processes their loss differently. And I remember visiting my daughter Zoe's resting place one summer afternoon, and it was right when I was feeling really guilty about losing her too. And there was a woman who was a few spots down, and I'd never seen her before at the cemetery, and she was visiting another resting place probably about 50 feet away from me and all that. And but as she was walking by, she stopped and she said, "I'm so sorry for your loss. Who is this?" And I said, "Unfortunately, it's my daughter." "Oh, I'm so sorry. Can I ask you what happened?" I said, "Unfortunately, she took her life." And without skipping a beat, she said, "It's okay. You're young. You can have more kids." Yeah. So I was like, what? Anyway, for some reason, as much as I wanted to tell her off for saying that to me, I just kind of gave her a look that kind of showed my feelings towards her, and she kind of took the hint and she kind of scurried off. But my point is that when someone says something to you like, "Why don't you get over it? Why are you crying now?" And whether it's intentional or unintentional, it doesn't matter. It's still impacting us. And so for this video, and especially for anyone who's getting direct pressure from others to get over their loss, here are 3 powerful ways that you can handle this situation today, okay? First, you can approach that person calmly and assertively and express how their behavior or comments are affecting you. If you use I statements to express your feelings without blaming or accusing them, it really helps. And for example, you can say, "I really feel hurt when you make comments that downplay my grief. And so I would appreciate your understanding and support as I'm navigating this really tough time." Now, if someone continues to be insensitive despite your communication there, it's important to set some boundaries, saying something like this. And you might want to write this down and practice saying it, but you can say something like, "I'm having a really hard time right now, and I don't expect everyone to understand that, but I won't tolerate comments on what I should do and how I should grieve right now." And see, by using that type of phrase, you're letting someone know that their behavior is really unacceptable and that there's going to be some consequences if they don't respect these boundaries that you're setting. And it's really important to be firm and consistent when you're enforcing these boundaries to show that you're actually serious about protecting your emotional well-being. And then finally, you can limit or avoid interaction. If this person's insensitivity persists and it's causing you stress, consider limiting your interaction with them for a while, because this can provide you with the space and peace that you need to focus on in order to heal. And just spend time with the people who are supporting you and understanding of your grief. It's important to remember that you have the right to prioritize your emotional well-being and protect yourself from further harm in this process. And I know it can be difficult to address insensitive head-on here, but it empowers you to take control of the situation, and it creates a support environment for your healing process. And if the insensitivity is coming from someone really close to you, it might also be helpful to involve maybe a third party, like a neutral person, like a trusted friend or a family member who can mediate the conversation if you need that. Teri, it goes without saying, but I'm going to remind you of what's important here. There is no timeline for grief, okay? It's not on anyone else's agenda, and there's no one right way to navigate your grief except for the one way that works best for you. As always, I hope this helps. Do you have a question about grief that I can answer for you? Let me know in the comments below. And by the way, don't forget to join us for the next Emotional Relief Workshop. Just head over to emotionalreliefnow.com to learn more about how you can go from emotionally overwhelmed to calm and grounded in 90 seconds or less. Also, don't forget to click subscribe below. Let's walk together, and I'll see you in next week's video.